What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of All About the Hustle. I'm your host, Danny, and before y'all get on me, okay, I'm sorry for the gaps in the episodes, okay? So, for those that don't know, I am a grad student at USC. So, baby, your girl be stressed, okay? But we're back and better, okay? So today's guest, you may know him as Norman on Tyler Perry's Beauty in Black, but Richard Lawson's journey extends far beyond the screen. From serving as a combat medic in Vietnam to taking Hollywood by storm on our television screens, his story is one of discipline, resilience, and purpose. Everybody give it up for Mr. Richard Lawson.
Yay!
How you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thank you. So did you know that you always wanted to get into acting? Like when you were a kid?
I didn't. I didn't become an actor until I was like 24.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because, where I grew up in Oakland. I grew up in every project in Oakland, single mother. It was me, the three of us, me and my sister and my mother. And so I was like the surrogate husband, the surrogate father.
Yeah.
And then I'd go down to Riverside, live with my aunt, and then I was a kid, and then I was an adult in Oakland and a kid in Riverside. So, and then when I went into high school, I played football, and then I went to college, and then I got drafted, went back to college, and I was in my second, college excursion, if you will, and it was like, I want to be a lawyer. So it was at a junior college because I could get out of the service 3 months early if I went to college, and the junior college was the only one I can get into that quick.
Right.
And it was while I was there that I said, well, I'm going to join the debate team until I can get into a four-year school, into a law program.
Right.
And somebody asked me to get involved in a speech program, which was it was Reader's Theater. And wow, the reaction from the audience was amazing. And it was like, that was my first real indication of like, hey, maybe I can do this. And then the drama coach asked me to do this musical called Golden Boy. And I said, why not? And then I had a revelation that that's what I was put on this earth to do while I was doing that. And that's what I've been doing from that day, March 7th, 1970, to this moment.
Wow. So what was it like coming from Vietnam back to everyday life?
Vietnam was a particularly different kind of war. It wasn't one that was popular with this country, with the people. I mean, Americans thought we shouldn't have been there. So we didn't receive any kind of hero's welcome when we returned. The only thing we received was condemnation. You shouldn't have gone, type thing.
Yeah.
And so we were anti-heroes, if you will. I did my service, and when I came back, the one thing that I've always learned to do, right from early age, because I learned to do that, I had to process, pivot, and proceed. Stuff would happen, you have to deal with it, you'd have to pivot, process it, pivot, and get on to the next thing, and you couldn't even linger. Otherwise, then you got a pity party, and then you're a victim, and and then you're looking for excuses, and I've never been that person. So it's like, okay, this is done. Thank you. Let's go, and I move on. Got to get to the next thing because what else you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I got here and I pivoted, then and I found speech, the speech, and I pivoted to that, and that was real cool. And then I found acting. I pivoted to that. It just made me feel good, and and I became good at it. Yeah.
Okay. So looking back, do you see your time being on debate and being in Vietnam, do you see that preparing you to survive Hollywood?
Yes. Yes. It was like, it's sort of like God give you these assignments, and you have no idea why, and it is in your acceptance of what it is that allows you to then absorb it and get the most out of it, which then basically prepares you for whatever's next. Anytime you are involved in something and you're not engaged in it, you haven't given into it, then you're at effect to it rather than being at cause over it. And I never want to be at effect to anything. So yeah, it prepared me because on so many levels, you know what I mean? How to use your trauma to positive things. How to turn all that negativity into positivity. And I think in terms of shaping my life, that's really my whole thing is how do you turn chicken shit into chicken salad?
Period. I like that. Yeah,
Because that's what
yeah.
that's the greatest lesson in life.
Yeah.
How do I turn manure into fertilizer?
Yeah.
How do I make it work for me? One of the reasons why I love New York so much is that when you walk through New York, you can smell it. But people are living hard and living large because they turn all of that garbage into positivity, and it helps them be able to manage life.
Absolutely.
It helps them be able to understand boundaries and the power of no. That's the most beautiful word in the English language. No. Is it a stop? No turns me on. No gets me excited. Because is that right? Watch this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm definitely the same way.
Huh?
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
You tell me I can't do something, all right, bet I got you. I'm going to show you.
Right? Bet.
Literally.
Bet. Check this out.
Okay.
I play golf with my friends. I play golf with my friends, and they say, "Look, leave that alone. Do not wake him up. You know what I mean? He's having a bad day. Don't wake him up. Don't even look at him funny. Don't look at him. Look away.
Don't even breathe funny.
Don't even, yeah. And God forbid, don't be snickering under your breath because it's going to wake.
It's over with. It's up and stuck.
Yeah. You done woke me up now. Okay, watch this.
Hey, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so what role would you say taught you most about yourself as an actor?
All of them. I get into all of them. I don't never take a role and just mail it in. Yeah. I look at art through science. Science is the systematic study of anything. You're looking at how this works. And you're putting a system together to understand what the components are. Right?
Yeah.
And then you add the other part of science in terms of acting and the character, the anthropology of the human being, the behavioral anthropology. Anthropology is the study of emotional, physical, spiritual, the origin of a human being.
All right.
And to study where they come from, why they are who they are, how they got there, et cetera, et cetera. And so as an artist, I'm a behavioral scientist. Now, any anthropologist is going to say, no, you're not. Don't say that.
Right.
Well, okay, that's for you. But I looked at the definition and I applied it to what I do. And I do it in terms of science, systematic study. So I do a deep dive. So every character I play, I've looked at who this person is, where they came from, what moves them, what makes them think, what their pathology is, what their contradictions are. And so I learned something from everybody. I learned something from Norman. I know we're going to talk about Norman in a minute. And Norman he's diabolical.
Whew.
But he's driven by love.
Yeah.
He loved his wife.
Yeah.
He loved his wife. He's the only one driven by love.
The only one. That is true.
And so therefore, that's the contradiction in him. So there is this dark side to him, but there's this other side that is passionate. He loves passionately and he loves deeply. Even though his wife, as his brother calls it, a mail order bride, it didn't matter, the fact that they found that connection, and that was everything that meant something to him.
I didn't think about that. I don't think many people thought about it like that, because everybody just looks at what Norman is doing and it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But nobody ever looked at it from that perspective, I don't believe.
Yeah, why he's doing it.
Yeah.
Everything comes back to the why. Why are you sitting there? Why are we having this?
Yeah.
There's this conversation. Yeah. There's a reason behind it. If there ain't no reason behind it, then it's empty. It'll float. Yeah. It's gossamer. Gossamer, meaning that, it's like you take a drag of a cigarette and a cigar. When you blow it out like that, there's all this smoke. You can't even see your face.
Yeah.
And in no time, it dissipates. And then all of a sudden, it didn't exist. It's gossamer, and to do something without feeling, without understanding why,
you might as well not be doing it at all.
It's a gossamer experience. It's there and then it's not. It's you're on an adventure rather than a journey. So, as a teacher, the first question I ask is, why you want to do this? So that I understand what's driving people. Because I do understand that this road is a marathon. And if you don't have a reason to suck up this pain, like any marathon, you run and you're feeling good. You're feeling good, 4, 5, 6 miles. Maybe, let me step ahead and get out in front of these people, right? You hit that 10-mile mark and that 15-mile mark, and all of a sudden your body say, what?
Like, cut it out.
Cut it out, right? You have to have a strong why to get through the pain of it.
Yeah.
I'm 54 years in this business. And I've been on vacation for 54 years.
Oh, wow.
I've been on vacation. I've been having the time of my life.
Yeah.
I've also, the picture of the slave with the stripes on his back and I can't think of the gentleman's name. Trump is trying to have it removed.
Yeah, from the museum.
From the museum, right?
Yeah.
Any actor that has been in the business for as long as I have, and there's still a handful of us that's been doing this for 50-some years, we had those stripes on our back.
Oh, wow.
From trying to make it in this business. But you know what? Yeah. Those stripes have only made us stronger.
Period.
And it's a thing of beauty. Because when you look at a back like that, you say, you's a strong bro. You's a strong brother.
Yes.
You're a strong sister. Come here, you know what I mean? You understand love. You understand pain. You understand no. You understand holding on. You understand holding on to your integrity. You understand what it takes. You understand pain. You understand resilience. You understand having a vision.
Yeah.
You understand not giving up. You understand passion.
So I know you've witnessed Hollywood evolve around like decades, right? So
I started in '69. How many decades have I touched?
Oh yeah, you true to this, not new to this.
Yep, true to this.
Period.
Not new to this.
Period.
I like that one. I'm true to this, not new to this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, what would you say is the biggest change you've seen in Hollywood or just in the industry overall?
So when I started, it's so interesting because when I look at, I'll give you a perspective.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a little boy, going to Louisiana every summer,
Mm-hmm.
I would go to my grandparents' farm.
Mm-hmm.
Now that farm was built by my great-grandfather, Alcide Will Turner, who bought himself out of slavery and went back and bought his brothers and sisters out of slavery, and that he became a landowner, and he started sharecropping, and he got all the farmers to gather together to create a consortium of farmers who would put their cotton together and go to the gin.
Oh, wow.
And so I would go to church with them on Sunday in a horse and a buggy. And I would sit in the back, and there were horse and buggy, and we were, it didn't have no cushions, and boy, you used to hitting them bottoms, and it was hard on your butt, hard on your back. And the dust would kick up, and dust would be all over you. By the time you got to the church, you'd be like,
right, got to dust yourself off.
Dust yourself off, right? So that horse and buggy to today, I'm riding, I have an Escalade that I love because it's so big.
Period.
And, and I've had all kind of cars.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that time frame there. When I first got in the show business, there was, in terms of people you could see on the regular, there was Diahann Carroll,
Mm-hmm.
Julia, there was Bill Cosby,
Mm-hmm.
and there was Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Or Sidney Poitier,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
And there was like the NBC, ABC, CBS, and then later came Fox.
Right.
And then there was PBS. Now there's a plethora of platforms. You look on Netflix, you could look at nothing but black shows. It would take you to go through the shows and the episodes. That's maybe a year.
Yeah.
'Cause so many black
Come a long way.
come a long way, right?
Yeah.
We come a long way, and yet it's still similar. The dynamics have changed. The opportunities are plentiful,
Mm-hmm.
but the playing field is still not level. And as a matter of fact, the way the country is going, it's taking away the advances that we've made.
Right.
And so if you can read the tea leaves, we got to recreate and redo and create our own, which is something that we should have been doing all along.
Exactly.
Becoming our own distributors, becoming our own exhibitors. And like Oscar Micheaux took his films under his arm, and he went from church to church and from group to group and showed his films in basements and whatever. And today there's so many opportunities that we have, like BET is an example.
Right.
But at the end of the day, eventually most businesses, black businesses that are owned and created, like Shea Moisture, in terms of hair care, Miali, whatever the name of that other one is, and they all wind up selling to the major corporations. And so therefore, there's no real legacy created in terms of a people. There's legacy for that family that owns it, you know what I mean? So there's a lot that's been changed. Look, the iPhone changed the game.
It did.
You can do a whole movie with the iPhone.
Yeah.
Whereas and so you're not limited. We just have to continue to be creative, and with AI, things will be even more different and challenging in a whole nother way. You better get on the front end of that. I just got through telling you about an editing program that is like intuitive and it's AI driven. and makes it so much easier. So we have to understand that there's a party being thrown, and where it's being thrown, and how can we get on the front end of it, and we don't get on the back end of it when it's phasing out. But I don't want to lose the quality of what is that I understand that it takes in order to be successful, like work ethic, like ethics and integrity, and having some class, and your word being something, and and still telling stories, that are interesting and shows the contradiction in the human being, and not lose that to really quick sort of MTV created the whole idea of these quick cuts concepts where you don't really get into. I'll give you the perfect example. Back in the day, we got to know each other because I would say, will you dance with me? May I have this dance? And you'd get up and you would slow dance, and you'd be right here, and you feel that energy. And you feel the heat of her face, and you'd be talking to her cheek to cheek, and you just like, oh my God.
They don't do that no more.
They don't do that no more. You know what I mean? That shit would be so hot. It would be so hot when you say, okay, and when you were done, okay, you had to peel your face off of her press and curl. You know what I mean? And you get a little grease on the side of your face.
And you better not mess it up.
No, you better not mess it up. But at least you knew who she was.
Right.
She knew who you were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so there was this connection. There was communication. There was connection. There was frequency. You felt each other's vibe.
Yeah.
And you knew it would work or it wouldn't work. You knew it right there, right?
Yes.
They don't have that today. So, we don't communicate today. We communicate very differently. We communicate in emojis.
Yes.
In text that can get so misread. Yeah, ellipsis. Yeah. What do they mean by that? Are you going ... Wait, what that mean? You know what I mean?
Right. Definitely could get misconstrued in some ways.
Yeah. So, the biggest, there's a lot has changed. What do we do to create that, fill that in so that we don't lose some dynamic of what's real for us, like feelings, connection. Like I hate the way people, hey man, what's happening? And it was like, tip, 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 tip. It feel like somebody's burping you. Feel like you should put a towel over your back, burp them so they can just go and get it out, because there's no feeling, there's no real connect, not a hug.
Yeah.
Not a hug, heart to heart.
Yeah.
When you hug, you can feel each other's heart beating. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So do you have a audition story that you would just never forget, whether it was one that went right or one that went left?
Yeah.
Which one?
I went to New York and I saw this play at the Long Wharf Theater in New Haven, Connecticut. Mm-hmm. It was a play called Streamers. Mm-hmm. And it was a play that took place in the barracks in this army base with the threat of going to Vietnam. And there was this character called Carlisle, who was really a fish out of water in this place. He was drafted and he was just out of sorts.
Okay.
And I saw the production, and it was the most frightening thing I'd ever seen.
Really?
And the dude that played the part, we went to lunch together because my manager took me to see it, and it was hard sitting across from him because it was so frightening in the play. And he was still kind of in it because it was in between. He came and had lunch, and it was in between the matinee, which we saw, and the evening performance, and he was still kind of in it, and was like, whoa. So the play was going to it was going to go from New Haven to Broadway.
Okay.
I auditioned for it on Broadway. I didn't get it, and I don't think the director thought I did a good job. So about a year later, I was coming to L.A. And I knew that I wanted to get this part, right? So I worked on it. I spent a month just playing, being that character.
Oh, wow.
I would dress up and take him out in the street and, and...
oh, that's dedication.
And finally I got an audition. And the guy, the producer, Norman Twain, it was supposed to be Peter Falk, Richard Thomas, and Billy Friedkin, he well-known director. So I went in, and the day that I auditioned, the director wasn't there, and so I auditioned, and a friend of mine read the other part, and he stopped us like maybe 2 minutes in. We didn't even finish the scene. He says, "Okay, that's good. Hey, great, good job. I'll call you back in and so you can meet the director." I was like, damn, that was funky, man. He just stopped us and said, pissed me off.
Right.
So I went and I worked on the character. I found out that he didn't like me that much.
Oh, wow.
He liked my friend, but he wasn't so hot on me, right? So I finally got an audition, another one, callback. They found that Billy Friedkin was out. There was another director that was in. One of the Peter Falk was out, and then Charlie Durning was in. And I went to the Playhouse, to Westwood Playhouse, and I was ready. And I was next up. And then the door opens, and then this dude named Kenny Holliday came out, who was the understudy on Broadway, and he took over for
the guy
that actually did the part. And when he came out, he looked at me like, "Good luck." That was the no I needed.
Oh, no.
So the dude opened the door. Norman Twain opened the door.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Richard." I said, "Motherfucker, the last time I was here, you stopped me. You stopped me. I worked my ass off in that part, and you stopped me." And he says, No. I said, "You disrespected me." He said, No. It was out of respect. I said, "It was out of disrespect."
Right.
And I pulled a knife out of my pocket, switchblade. Shoo! I said, "Now stop me today, motherfucker. Stop me today." He says, "What?" I said, "Shut up. Go sit down. Sit down." He went and sat down, and Richard Thomas was sitting. I said, "You, come here." He didn't hesitate. I started going over the seats. He said, okay. I sat them right next to each other. I said, "You white motherfuckers think you know something about this black man. You don't know shit." And I stabbed the knife in the stage. It said, "Toom." And I went and did my monologue. God. They was like,
undivided attention.
When I finished, I took the knife out of the thing and put it in my pocket. I sat down and I said, "I want to thank you, gentlemen, for entertaining my audition today. I hope I haven't disturbed you or made you feel uncomfortable, but I had to take you there so that you know who Carlisle really is. Thank you very much. Good luck." And I walked out.
Oh my gosh.
So the director said, "What the hell was that? Call the police. Call the police. He's got to go to jail for this." And the director said, "I just have one question. How you're feeling right now is how you want the audience to feel, right? So he put you in a place, is exactly the place that you want the audience to feel. Am I correct?" And he said, "Yeah, but isn't that exactly what we're looking for? He took you there on purpose." "Yeah, I guess so, but no actor's ever done it yet." "I know, but this is a part that's a particular part, right? I got the job.
Period.
My job, my whole intention was to get the job or go to jail.
Yeah.
I almost went to jail, but I got the job. And as a result, during that play, that play ran about 4 months. 14 people got carried out on stretchers from having a heart attack or passing out. All men.
Wow.
All men. Because the play was so, the character kills two people in the play. And the killing was so realistic.
Okay.
Because I stabbed somebody in the stomach, right? And I stabbed him in the stomach, and they had a plate, a leather thing on with a blood bag, and the point of the knife just put a prick in it.
Yeah.
And so it would leak, and so that the blood would expand over the rest of the play, would expand like that as he started to die. You could see the blood, that he was losing the blood. It was so realistic that if people would like,
not they couldn't handle it.
Yeah. So that was my.
Oh my gosh. No, that's a good story. I was not expecting it to go that way. Because you scared me for a minute. I'm like, oh, he wanted that.
Oh, I wanted that. And listen, you gotta want it.
You gotta be hungry now.
You gotta want it.
Yeah.
You gotta really want it. If you want it, you gotta go get it.
We're gonna play a quick little game before we get into the Beauty in Black. Okay. So we're gonna play a game called Roll Recall. So I'm going to name something or a project that you've been involved in, and you just tell me the first memory or the first thing that comes to mind. Okay. Dynasty.
Diahann Carroll.
What was it like working with Diahann Carroll?
It was like two kids going to work or school every day and playing in the sandbox.
Oh.
We had such a wonderful chemistry together. We would have so much fun. And she's such an amazing woman. So much class, so much dignity.
Yes.
And yet, when we sitting by ourselves, she's just a real down sister. We be talking shit that, we definitely didn't want the mics to pick up.
Right.
Matter of fact, we made sure that when we were talking that our mics were off. We'd go turn it on mute. But she was really beautiful. And we remained friends after we was trying to find things that we could work together on,
I love that.
Yeah, no, it was great. She was a queen. She was truly a queen.
Most definitely.
She was one of a kind.
Most definitely one of a kind.
Yeah.
How Stella got her groove back.
Jamaica, on the beach, the character had a stutter.
For Color Girls.
I'm standing at the door and Loretta Devine said, "You've been with her, haven't you? I can smell her all over you." And I said, "No, baby, I've been eating donuts."
That was wild. Was that in the script or was that some type of improv?
That was me.
My God.
The whole set fell on the floor.
The Bernie Mac show.
So the director comes to me and he says, my friend Stan Lathan, he comes to my trailer and he says, here's a sermon. It's 4 pages, single line pages.
Oh, Lord.
He said, yeah, we're going to be doing that in 10 minutes, so take a look at it. I said, take a look at it? I said, this is 4 pages. You go, what? I spent about 3 minutes looking at that. I said, yeah, I ain't doing that.
You couldn't finesse it and have it on the podium?
Look, I said, I'm going to improv this whole thing.
Oh, period.
So I got up there and I improved it. Okay. I improved it. Turned it out.
No, you did.
They had about 300, maybe maybe it was only 100, 200, but the church looked kind of full,
Yeah.
right? And these were all people who were members of a particular Baptist church. And so when I started preaching and I got the Holy Ghost, you know what I mean? And hallelujah, you know, and start getting that little dance going
Right.
on. Somebody said to me, "Yeah, brother, I think you might have missed your calling."
As soon as that little shoulder get to, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Helia Baba.
Not the top. Oh, that's funny. Sister.
Yeah. Sister. Oh, it was fun. Jackie and working with Tim, beautiful man. I've worked with Jackie before, and then and then the twins. It was a lot of fun. My daughter did that show, and she was she became like a reoccurring regular on the show, Bianca.
Yeah. Okay. Divorce in the Black.
I'm working with my girl Debbie, and of course, working with Tyler and everybody. Was so beautiful. But Debbie and I, we've been husband and wife 4 times, I think, and we're not husband and wife, but we were lovers.
Yeah.
And so underneath our hate, there's always this little friction, like, these people got some other shit going
Right.
on. They either gonna kill each other or they going to bed.
Right, no in between.
No in between.
And last but not least, Beauty in Black.
Well, that's one of the most special experience because it's such a, Beauty in Black is like Game of Thrones and Dynasty got together and had a baby. And Beauty in Black is the result.
Yeah.
It's like treacherous. It's so fun playing Norman and what he's capable of doing. You know damn well, it's like Olivia says to Charles, her son, don't piss him off. You don't know him. You don't know what he'll do. You know what I mean? And because she knows there's a diabolical side that you don't want to cross.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's just so fun playing the character like that.
So speaking of when Olivia is trying to tell Charles you don't want to piss him off, okay, so first, was it in the script that you had to stage his car being blown up?
That was in the script.
Okay, what was your initial thought during that table read for that?
We didn't have a table read.
Oh, really?
No, we didn't have a table read. When we got together, we would get together on Zoom because when we got hired, some of us were in California, some of us were in Atlanta and other places. Ursula, who plays Delinda, is in South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
And so there's people all over the place, but we would get on Zoom and we would read it on Zoom.
Okay.
And we never had an official table read where all of us were sitting at the table and sitting around reading. But we were really clear. The first season, people were trying to get their bearing and really, tap into these characters and feel, find out who they are and what the relationships are.
Yeah.
But the second season, that has settled into, you know who you're dealing with.
Right, y'all comfortable now.
Huh?
You comfortable now.
You certainly are knowledgeable about what the relationships are, who you like, who you don't like, who you hate. In this family, we all hate each other because it's greed and avarice and jealousy and power struggle and control. And, we're all, trying to gain control of the power. And so, and the will is set up in such a way that it if something happens to one person, then it affects everybody else's money.
Yeah.
And so you can't kill the people, you know, and know that it was you because you lose your shares. You know,
Yeah.
it's Game of Thrones. You know what I mean?
So what is it like working under Tyler Perry's direction? Because you've worked with him more than once. So
Yeah. Tyler works unlike anybody else ever. He actually re-engineered the whole concept of the way that things are shot. Usually people shoot the master, the whole room, and then we move into the close-ups.
Yeah.
He starts in the close-ups and works back out so that the master is the last thing we shoot. Because he knows that in the master, the only way he needs the master is in the entrance to the scene and the exits to the scene.
Okay.
Because it's a soap opera, so he's going to be more into the drama and the emotion of it. And the cool thing about that is that in typical types of settings, you start with the master and you move in. The majority of actors, and especially young and experienced actors, in the master, they blow it out. You know what I mean? It's too, you know, it's like what you eventually get to is that, you know, if it's you and I and other people, and you're my wife, and it's at the end of the scene, you know, it's like, you made love to my brother. You made love to my brother. How could you do that to me? How could you do that to me? Jesus Christ. And you, right?
Yeah.
And you get emotion. You go, poo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and you do that in the master, right? And so the inexperienced actor is going, it's like in the master, tears, crying, all of that, right?
Oh
so in the master, you do 1, 2, 3, 4 takes of the master. And then you go in tighter, 4 takes of that. Then you go into a 2-shot, 4 takes of that. And then you do an over and 4, and then tighter over, 4 more. And then dirty over, 4 more, and then a close-up, 4, and then an extreme close-up. And you do the same thing on the other side. So by the time you get to the money shot, which is where you're actually seeing the tears, you got like 30 takes before you get there, right?
Yeah.
But the way he shoots it, right from the jump, you're in it. He gets the tears, and then he backs out of it because he knows that, you know, he doesn't need it for the wider shots because he's going to be over and over. Because once he's got the tears, he don't need to see that anymore. So he's over your shoulder, and you don't have to see. You don't have to have the tears. And so he backs out. So that's intuitive. But he works so fast.
Yeah.
That we were shooting 100 pages a day.
Yeah, because when I interviewed Terrell Carter, who played Varney, that's what he was telling me, like how fast it's shot. Because I just knew he was going to say it takes like 8 months to film a season, like 6 months. I was like, oh.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So when he said that, I was like, oh.
Oh, no. We finished.
Come on, efficiency.
We finished 16 episodes in 13 days.
Oh, yeah. That's really fishing right there. I can't even.
Try that.
Okay.
16 episodes in 13 working days.
Tyler said, "Get to work now."
So that we work 5 days, and then we're off 2. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So the 13 working days means that it's like 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
So we work 5, and then we work 5. That's 10.
Okay.
And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We wrapped on a Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So that's 13 days, right?
Wow. At least you still get 2 days off.
You get 2 days
I'm thinking
off.
It was straight through, like.
Yeah, no. But but baby, you humping.
Yeah.
You humping.
Yeah.
Because what he does is that whatever locations, like for instance, all the stuff at the Beauty in Black.
Yeah.
So we shoot all the stuff in the conference room.
Yeah.
over the course of the 16 episodes. So you might be in a conference room
Okay,
like
that makes sense.
in 4 or 5 episodes. So you shoot all the conference room stuff. You shoot all the foyer stuff. You shoot all the office stuff, Mallory's office. So that it's location to location to location. And so therefore, that's why everybody's there just about every day.
Yeah.
Because somewhere within the mix, you're going to be in one of
Somewhere.
those scenes. And
Yeah.
you go from, you'll go from, like I'll do a scene and then he'll, in the hospital, and he'll go to another hospital scene, and then I'll go immediately change and come right back and then do this scene. I'll do that scene and finish, go get changed, and he'll do a scene that's over here. I'll get changed, and it's like you're leapfrogging scenes because you're changing, quick change.
So was there ever a moment like behind the scenes of Beauty and Black that really stood out to you?
Yeah, the camaraderie. We are family. We've created a family. There's a lot of love between the people who are even. I mean, we communicate. I can probably look on my phone right now, and there is a WhatsApp group text. Somebody's sharing something. Somebody says something in the group text, and we are active in that, especially right in through here, because we're number one in the world. 1.3 billion views.
Yep.
Imagine that.
Y'all doing the damn thing.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
1.3 billion views.
Yeah, that is.
So you got all these people saying, "Are you really like that? Are you that mean? Are you that diabolical?" I never knew you to be that. I've never seen you play a role that is just so. Why you blow that man up and his wife? Why?
No, because for real. Look, he said, "I need to avenge my wife." Okay.
Yeah. So Varney was here. Terrell.
I actually interviewed him at the Truth Awards on the red carpet. That's what honestly made me start this podcast, because I realized I do kind of like this. Yeah. So I got to interview him and Steven, and they were just talking about their experiences.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, okay, maybe I can do this. So then that's when I just looked into starting podcasts.
Okay.
And then for school, I pitched it to them.
You camera ready. You're beautiful.
Thank you.
Such a pretty face.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope you really know that.
Thank you.
You do know that, right?
Yes. Yes, because at first I used to be a little insecure, but then it's like when I came to LA, it was like, okay, I started really focusing on me and like finding myself.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I've been out here for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so
if you want to make a career out of this, then, it's like you got to have a vision about ultimately, what is that backward thinking with forward motion? What is that thing out there where that's the ultimate thing? If I, like somebody says, I want to be starring on Broadway, and be the lead in a Broadway show that we win the Tony Award. And that's your goal, right?
Yeah.
And so so you look at that and work your way back to where you are, and what is it going to take for you to get there, ultimately get there. So
definitely.
Hopefully you can dream it, see it, put your vision board up.
Most definitely. Yeah, 'cause I usually do a vision board like every New Year.
Yeah.
But now I kind of want to update the one I did from January.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the stuff I was able to check off, thank God.
Yeah.
But I do want to do another one, just like an updated version. Because this wasn't even on. I wasn't thinking about this in January.
Right. Okay.
I was so shy. Like, I'm still kind of am. But, like, I like to be more so, like, behind the camera and editing and post and things like that. So that's why around, I think I interviewed them, it was in March.
Yeah.
And so in April, I was like, maybe I should just, take that leap and do it. And then in May, I started filming.
Yeah.
So this was nowhere in thought when I made that vision board. So I do want to remake it, low-key.
You know that shy is hostile, right?
Yeah.
Because it's holding back.
That, yeah.
You're holding yourself back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As opposed to, giving,
Yeah.
you're reserving, and you're keeping the beautiful part of yourself away from the sea. So, whatever that is, whatever those stops are, handle that stuff and get on with it, because you're gorgeous. You're on a red carpet or having your own show, you can.
Thank you. I was just telling my friends the other day, I was like, I might mess around and be the next Oprah, but I was playing. They were like, girl, no, seriously. And I was like,
that's right.
Because I was actually playing. I was like, okay, but Oprah is one of the journalists that I actually look up to. So that's why I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
Dreams don't have expiration dates.
This is true.
Dreams don't have expiration dates. So you don't have to, wait for the miracle. You are the miracle.
Period. Thank you.
Know what I mean? And put that in play now, knowing that, operating like that on that basis.
Right. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Just make sure you have people around you who support, positivity and support possibilities and support your dream, and y'all help each other, because at the end of the day, it really is about what kind of culture you set up.
Yeah.
That's everything. You got to create a space where art can occur.
That was one of the questions I was actually going to talk to you about.
Okay.
So what made you start Waco?
Well, it was I didn't start it alone. It was a brainchild of me and my ex-wife. The phrase "where art can occur" came from, something that I've been teaching for years and years and years. Create a space where art can occur. Nothing can grow in a toxic environment. If you create an environment, now this is based upon Marie Montessori's teaching. Marie Montessori, the Montessori schools?
Yeah.
Her philosophy is that if you created a space where a child can be themselves and you present possibilities for them so that they can be curious, and then, and uninterrupted and unimpeded upon, where somebody's not trying to put something in, but trying to pull things out and get this child interested in something where they find their thing.
Yeah.
Then they can grow into the unique human being that they are. In order for you as an artist to grow into the unique artist that you are, you need to be able to create a space where there is no judgment, and that the artist's creativity is not passing through the lens of someone else's morality. And so the idea was to create a space where art can occur like that. So the name "Where Art Can Occur," and I just shortened it because it is create a space where art can occur, and that's what we wanted to do with that space. And as a result, we mentored 100 kids, and using technology and filming technology. I put a camera in their hands and I taught them how to become filmmakers. And I've created some really amazing filmmakers and artists and others. Not all of them wanted to be filmmakers, but I was using the camera as a tool for them to be able to see themselves for the first time. Because most of us grow up, and we grow up with other people telling us who we are.
Yeah.
Other people will define us. And until we define ourselves, we spend our teens and 20s trying to figure out who we are through someone else's paradigm.
Yeah.
And once we start shedding the things we don't need, and we say, no, you know what? That was a good idea, but that's not who I am. But this over here is what I'm interested in. And you start separating the shaft from the weed itself to become your own unique self. And that is what the intention behind the education, behind, being able to create the possibilities for them so that they could see beyond their zip codes, because most of them had never been outside of their zip code.
Yeah.
And so we took them to places, we took them to Vegas, and we took them to museums, and took them to movies, and we introduced them to things, and I introduced them to film. And so when they started making films, they saw themselves, and they could say, oh, I am really confident. One of the great stories is that one of the students, we had this film camp, and it was, the first week was about them, what is your dream, and trying to help them to formulate a dream and a vision board. And the second week, we took them to New York Film Academy to actually learn filmmaking on a higher level, right? And they made a film using the backlot of Universal Studios. And then we put computers in their hands, and when it was like COVID, we taught them how to become filmmakers, and they'd make their own films, and they'd make their films about their lives. And one girl tells a story about the relationship with her absentee father, and the many disappointments that he's supposed to show up and he doesn't show up, and somebody was about their neighborhood, and one girl did a film about they don't but they don't tell you, they'll tell you, that you shouldn't do this because you don't want to have a baby, and you shouldn't do that because of this, and your life is going to be affected. But what they don't talk to you about is mind control. Because when that happens, and if it's a good experience, then he's got your mind.
Yeah.
And and you can't recover from that. You might never recover from the mind control.
Right.
And it was like, whoa, nobody's ever talked about that.
Right.
How true that is, right?
Yeah.
So they make all these great films. Well, that girl did not want to come into the program. Her mother encouraged her to do it.
Oh, wow.
And she would wear her sweaters, and you couldn't see her hand because she would pull the sweaters over her hand, and she'd wear these turtlenecks. She had psoriasis, and she had a skin condition.
Okay.
She thought she was ugly.
Oh.
So she was in this program for 2 weeks, and then people had to talk about, well, what did you get out of it? And she says, tell you the truth, I didn't want to come to this program, but my mother suggested that I did, and I did. And I'm so happy that I did, because when I first walked in here, I felt like I was ugly. Now, from making these films and seeing myself, I'm pretty.
Period.
I'm actually pretty. I changed her life in such a beautiful way.
Now, that's a beautiful story for sure.
It's such a beautiful way it changed her life. And it really, for me, it really said, see, this is proof of concept right here. This is the power of what you do. Because you can see this life. She has a life now. So this condition no longer is a stop. It's not a stop. It was a lesson, not a loss. And so a lot of, out of this program, we've developed poets and writers and directors and editors and strong, willful people and musicians. And one of them, boy, just dropped an album, and just so many things. And it's creating a space where art can occur.
What's one moment in your career that still makes you smile when you think about it?
The thing that comes back to me, it's like, I've had a wonderful career as an actor. I'm proud of my work. I'm proud of my legacy. But my purpose is beyond just being an actor. My purpose is to make a difference in this world in terms of be it young people's life, be it as a teacher helping other people, grown folks, old folks, find a way to achieve their dreams. And when things happen like, this woman came up to me at an event, and she says, I have been waiting for 10 years to be able to give you this money. And she was handing me like $10. And I said,
Oh, wow.
What's this for? She says, I've been waiting all this time to give you this money. She says, I said, why? She says, because 10 years ago, on 60th and 10th, you were crossing the street, and I came up to you and I asked you, did you have any money for food? And you looked at me the longest time, and you said, are you high? I asked her whether she was high. And she said, yes. And I said, well, I'm not going to give you any money for you to buy drugs, but I'll take you and get you something to eat. And there was a coffee shop right across the street. And I said, would you like to eat? And she said, yes. And we went to the coffee shop, and she sat down. And I ate with her. I had a hamburger and some fries and a milkshake, and we sat and talked. And about 40 minutes later, I wished her well and said, you may want to give Alcoholics Anonymous or Cocaine Anonymous a call and see if somebody can help you with your drug problem. And she said that motivated her to go get some help. And now she was a junior publicist.
Oh, wow.
And she was paying me back for the meal that I gave her.
I love
And I have many stories like that. One girl who I still hear from time to time, where when she was 16, she was sitting on the side of the bed with a loaded gun. She had put the barrel in her mouth and was about to pull the trigger. And she looked down, and on the nightstand, there was a magazine with I was on the cover, and I was talking about the drug program that I was talking about, the NBA drug program. So I ran the drug program. I was one of the people who ran the drug program for the National Basketball Association from 1983 to 1994. And this was an article about me in that program and my own recovery. And she put the gun down and she read the article, because she had seen me on All My Children.
Yeah.
She read the article, and in the article there was a hotline for AA. And she made the call. And that night she went to a meeting. Now she was depressed because her mother died of cancer, and she had to live with her mother's sister, who was a nightmare. And so she thought her life was over, and she was about to end it. And so that story, in terms of whatever I do in the world of art, if I can touch people in the way that I have been assigned to touch, this is my assignment. I'm just following orders, guidance, from a higher power.
Yes.
And so with my kids and mentoring kids, and statements like the young lady made in terms of, I'm beautiful, and if I can provide a space like that to create something like that, then I'm just trying to be an obedient soldier. And moments like that make all the difference in the world for me.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on this episode.
You're welcome. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Can you tell the viewers where they can keep up with you, like on social media?
Yes. The thing that I'm really putting together that I'm really excited about is my Substack channel, where you'll be able to come and hear all these kind of stories and me share my world as an actor, my world as a motivator, my world is a dream weaver and great interviews that I have with people in the space of art and also health. And so I talk to doctors about men's health and self-care, having great interviews about men's prostate awareness and other things. And it's richardlawsonstudios.substack.com. You can also find me on IG at all my other handles are Mr. Richard Lawson. So it's Mr. M.R. Richard, R-I-C-H-A-R-D, Lawson. And you can find me there. Or just Google me, and you can find me all over the place. Or look at Beauty in Black. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You'll be one of 1.3 billion people.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see you all next week on another episode of All About the Hustle.
All
Bye.
about the hustle.
Period.